some people say that when they're scammed, and it's almost inevitable now because it's absolute plague of scamming, isn't there? Yeah. They feel incredibly embarrassed, very ashamed. They feel as if they've been gullible and foolish and they don't want to tell anyone. So I'm going to kick off by saying I was scammed, and it was such a traditional, stupid scam that I fell for. It was a ring at the door. It was a few years ago now, not that many. And these guys said, hello, we've been repairing the roof next door. While we've been up there, we've had a good chance to have a look at yours, Vanessa, and it's got this hole in it and that hole in it, and if you don't have a new roof immediately at some vast expense, your children will get rained on. And I thought, oh, my God, I just had a divorce. I didn't want my children getting wet and cold. You know what I mean? I panicked. Yes. And also the kosher bit seemed to be that they'd been doing the roof next door. So I thought my next door neighbours would never have employed them if they weren't absolutely pucker. Handed over an enormous amount of money. I'm ashamed at the amount, so I'm not going to tell you how much it was. And, of course, they weren't real roofers, I think they went upstairs, stuck a bit of blue tack on it, read the paper. I'm not joking, and I don't think it's funny, and I still think about the money now.
I know, it's terrible.
It's horrible, and that happened to me, and I confess. Yeah. And I'm sorry that I mean, what I should have said was, thank you very much indeed. Let me go and check with next door. Let me have somebody else up to give an alternative opinion and valuation, not just handed over money to these people. I really behaved foolishly, and I regret it. But you were also scammed.
I was. Mine was to do with a computer. And I got a phone call from somewhere, and I think they were definitely Filipinos or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that was the sort of language that they were dealing with when talking to me. And they said that I had paid some 12 years beforehand for an insurance for my computer. Mm. And I thought, well, I know this is not right. Anyway, I said, no, I think you got the wrong number. And I put the phone down. They rang again. And what happened was that they would ring for a long time and then go quiet. Right. And then they'd ring again. And I tried to stop the telephone numbers coming through. It was just appalling. And
what were they saying they would do or not do to you?
Oh, they were saying they needed this money. If they didn't get this money, which was £1,000, they would then take me to court. Right. So you do think, and if you don't know about scamming, you do think, well, perhaps they will take me to court. Yeah. But anyway, in the end, recently I had a phone call again. They started to get
same people.
Same people, and I shouted at them. Yeah. I screamed. And I used profanity and everything like that. And eventually, I rang off, and they rang 18 times.
Wow.
And I didn't answer, but they just kept ringing. It was the same number.
All right. So in your situation, number one, you have a delightful husband who is there with you. You're not alone and frightened and scared and by yourself. No. Number two, thank God at the moment you're in fantastic health. Yeah. You're robust. And also, you're somebody who's kind of au fait with what's going on in general and thinks, my God, you're a scammer. Yeah. But you can imagine, can't you, being on your own, not really feeling great, getting this call, someone threatening you and saying, pay me £1,000 and if you don't, I'll take you to court. And you absolutely panic.
I know.
And also growing up in this country and living here, you don't tend to think, do I believe you? Are you a liar? When somebody talks to you, tend in usually to just think, well, they must be telling the truth,
Absolutely.
Don't you?
The awful thing is nowadays you have to be aware of these things. Yeah. And I feel sorry for people of a certain my age who get caught into this system.
Yes.
It's very, very bad. And a lot of people suffer. And that is what is so awful about scamming. You can eventually get the money back, but it's very, very rare.
Well, I think it's very important actually to talk about it on the telly and on the radio and wherever you possibly can in public, because the more scam stories you tell people,
Absolutely.
I really think it works. And the number is 862 22 22. So do give me a call. You don't have to give your real name if you feel shy or ashamed or anything like that. Although we're trying to tell you there's nothing to feel ashamed about, because really scammers are getting more and more sophisticated with every day that goes by. So they pose as HMRC, they pose as the post office, they pose as Amazon, they pose as Google, they pose as all sorts of things that people do use and think, oh my God, did I leave a parcel somewhere? Have I not picked up something? Did I? It's the kind of thing that they cleverly do.
I think the answer is to ignore every call that you get or every communication you get with people. And then eventually, if it really is for real, they will try and get that money, or rather, you will have to pay.
Yes, I think one of the things that I've learned in being scammed myself, which I still am faintly embarrassed about, of course, but also talking about this on the telly and on the radio and reading about it, is one of the elements of being scammed is it's always urgent.
Yeah.
urgent. You've got to do it immediately. They're coming to your house right now to get the money. You've got to wire it over instantly.
Yes.
They need some instant response.
Yeah.
And that, I think, only my view, but I think that's the paramount clue.
Ignore it.
Ignore it. Because
Absolutely.
in real life, it would never be that urgent.
No.
HMRC are not going to demand money from you bang like that. You know, your bank are not going to say, you know, there's a robber in the vault, so you've got to come round with cash. You know, they're not going to do that. And if even you doubt it for 1 second, don't do it.
No.
You know, just put the phone down, or do what you do and shout loudly, you're a scam, and put the phone down.
Yeah.
And then investigate, but at your leisure. Nothing's ever that urgent.
No, and you're absolutely right, Vanessa. I mean, you've got to take control of it yourself and not be fooled by it. That is the thing. And don't feel embarrassed. You know that you're maybe scammed and you don't know what to do. Just be strong.
Yes.
And take what you think is the right thing to do.
I think the other thing to do, if there's anyone at all close by or that you know or that you trust,
Check
is
with
just
them.
ask them. So don't respond at all. They asked you for £1,000. They asked you for your account details. They asked you for something or other. Don't respond, because it's never that urgent. That's the first clue, urgency. And then number 2, ask somebody else. Phone a friend or your children or somebody and say, you know, they've just asked me for this. It seems to have come from HMRC or the post office. Or does that sound kosher to you? Does that sound right?
And I think, you know, I've got a wonderful bank that I go to, and, you know, you can check with your bank manager.
Exactly.
They're the reliable ones. They're the ones who are going to say, look, don't worry, this is a scam. Do not pay attention.
Absolutely.
And it's very important you take control.
But I think one of the key factors is they always catch people on the hoof.
Absolutely.
It's you're running out the door,
Yeah.
you're just putting a chicken in the oven, you know, you're just rushing to the doctor, you finally got a GP appointment, hallelujah, you're on your way out the door, you're on the way to the hospital, whatever it is, and they ask you for something, you get frightened, you get scared, it seems urgent, you do it, then you feel silly.
Yeah.
And you don't want to tell anyone.
No,
it's
you're
that thing,
you're
isn't it?
absolutely right. I mean, it's something that is of this age, I think. And, of course, if vulnerable older people panic.
Yeah, yeah.
And they think, oh, well, I better just write a cheque then or you know, send some money through my bank, you know. And you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do anything at all.
All
Just
right,
ignore
let's
it.
talk to Sharon. Sharon's on the line in Lincolnshire. You can look at Sharon into that camera there.
Lovely.
Sharon, hi there. Has it happened to you, my love?
Yes, I was phoned late at night
Yes.
and by these people that claimed that I was an illegal immigrant and that they were going to come round to my house and evict me and take all my furniture and all my belongings
Good God.
because I was an illegal immigrant and I wasn't supposed to be there. Well, and they were going to send me back to China.
What? And did you get the impression, Sharon, that they knew where you lived and that they were specifically targeting you? You did. So what did you do?
I'm a very vulnerable person at the minute. I have a lot of health issues and mental health issues, and it frightens me very much.
And
but
so,
I'd like to think.
But what did you
prevented-
do, Sharon? What did you do when they said that?
I called the police.
Oh, good.
And they have a helpline.
Good.
Where they take the phone number.
Yeah.
And they bar it from.
Did they say they
calling
wanted
out-
money from you? Is that what they said they wanted?
No, they just wanted to take all my belongings.
Take your belongings, for goodness sake. I've never even heard of that one before.
Licked me.
Gosh, well, you did exactly the right thing. You didn't say, OK, let me open the door and come and let me give you my piano and my television and all my stuff. Thank goodness you were bright enough and switched on enough to realise that the police were the right people to call, which they most definitely were. Sharon, thank you so much for ringing. Obviously, the calls are coming in on this one. I'm not at all surprised. Your calls on scams, I do genuinely think it is a very nice public-spirited thing to do, to ring about this, because if you were scammed and you can explain what happened, then other people will be alert to it.
I think also, you know, Vanessa, there's a lot of sexual scams which happen.
Sexual and romantic.
And romantic. And
I love you, send me money. I know.
Exactly. And I think that is even worse, funnily enough.
It's all
because
awful.
then you're dealing with emotions.
Absolutely,
You
and
know,
that happens
preying
too.
on that person.
So much so people think they formed a very strong bond with someone. They think they really love them. Every day they look forward to hearing from them.
Yeah.
But the key is they're suddenly asking for money. Often they say they're in the army.
Could
don't
you send
they?
me £5,000?
Send me money. My mother needs an operation for
Exactly,
cancer or something.
exactly.
So always, if this ever happens to you, even if you think you love the person, don't just send them money. If they love you, they won't be asking for money, will they? All right, it all sounds so easy when you and I are sitting here safely chatting on the pink sofa. It's quite different when you're taken by surprise in real life.
How's the roof, by the way?
Oh, my roof. Well, I've had to have it repaired since, obviously, because those people didn't do a damn thing. Stop reminding me about it. We're going to be joined on the programme in a minute by a scam expert who'll be sharing the signs of a scam and offering you advice. This is the stuff you really need. But now, more of your calls on how to spot a scammer, whether you've been scammed and whether you want to share your experience. The number 0207 862 2222. Do give us a ring. Jane, at the moment, because these scams change all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
What are the most common kind of scams you're seeing now?
Well, about over half of the scams that we're seeing come down to impersonation scams. So those are scams that are coming through from fraudsters pretending to be someone like your bank or HMRC or a utility company or someone that you are working with, doing business with.
So when you see the name, it's actually, you think, oh yes, HMRC, oh yes, my bank, oh yes, my energy provider. It's familiar to you.
Exactly.
Right.
And they're coming through and they're contacting you by phone or by email or by text or through social media, direct messages, and also WhatsApp.
And what sort of thing are they saying?
Well, they're appearing very convincing because they're getting so much better because we've got things like AI. So that's just totally transformed the whole scam landscape now. So they're playing on your emotions and they will be asking you potentially for your password or a passcode or for any personal information.
And what's their excuse for asking you this? What sort of thing might they say?
Oh, they can create so many different things, but what they're trying to do is get you to actually download a file or click on an attachment or go to our website, because that's when the scams will start to happen.
Where do they get your number from? Or is it just ad-libbed? Or is it just, they pick a number out of thin air or an email address?
Well, they use AI, so they can go through all of the information that is held on you publicly. So there's so much information that is out there that you may not be aware of that they can get hold of. And because they're using AI, they can just scrape social media, scrape the internet and pull that information in and literally just
Terrifying. So what do? You've suddenly got this message from HMRC or from your bank or your utility company. You recognise it, and what most people do is just answer it. But what should you do?
Trust no one. It's like that TV program years ago, The X-Files. It's just like trust no one. Work on the basis that it is a scam. If they need to get hold of you, then chances are they're going to do so in a different manner. But if you want to get hold of them, go to the source, the legitimate source. You're going to have your utility phone number, or you can go through the website and there may be an agent, a bot there to communicate through. Or same with your bank, like call them. But use the legitimate number that you will have on file and contact them directly. Work on the basis it is a scam and don't act.
That involves, doesn't it, really undoing all our upbringing?
Absolutely.
Because we were just brought up, if somebody asks you something or tells you something, you don't question it. You just think, OK, sure, don't you?
Yeah, but the trouble is computers nowadays, we all use computers and we love it and it's fantastic, but I think it's the killing of the world. Because everybody knows what's going on.
Oh, bloody. Let's start taking calls, because the calls are flowing in on this one. Let's talk to Gwen. Hello, Gwen. You were scammed only last week. Oh, I know this one. This is very familiar to lots of us. Tell me about it. It was a fake text from your daughter, Gwen. Hello, what did it say?
It said, Mum, it's my new number. And due to her...
Due to what?
She was changing her job, so I assumed it was a new number to do with her work.
Okay.
And I said, thank you, Claire. Have you started your new job? And they said, yes. Where are you? Are you busy?
Right.
And then I said where I was, and they said, have you got a moment? I need a quick favour. I said, I just tried ringing you, because she always likes to talk like I do. But they were texting, and it said, I'm on a call at the moment. Text me, please. And then it said, I have a bill that needs paying. Otherwise, late fees will occur. My online banking isn't working. Now, I knew that she doesn't do online banking, neither do I.
Right.
But I thought perhaps she's had to start this for some reason.
Right.
So could you pay this bill? The name is for Bart Saunter, code blah-de-blah, account number, and the amount was £997.63.
Gosh.
And can you pay it now, please, and let me know when it's done?
And did you?
Within a matter of minutes, it came back. Have you managed to sort it out? Have you managed to sort it out twice? Hello? Why are you ignoring me?
Wow.
So said, I am not ignoring you. You're not answering when I call you, which I called on her other number.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, I believe you are a scammer, not my daughter.
Good for
And
you.
it said, while I get a better signal, pay and let me know when it's done. I'll call you back again in a bit.
All right, let me stop you there, Gwen, just so we can get some advice. Now, we've all heard of this one. I've had it done to me, at least a message saying this is me with a new number, and I knew it wasn't, and I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Just alert people to this one for us.
Yeah, so this goes on. So does the kidnapping. I've got your loved one, and maybe you're going to hear them down the end of the phone screaming and things like that. So this is all very common. What I would do with the call, like your caller has just called in about, I would have a safe word. So it's only something that you and your loved ones know. We have this in my family.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows. So you can instantly say, OK, prove it's you. What is a safe word that we use?
Very good idea.
So that's really, really
Anyone
simple.
can do this. If you've
It's
got
really
kids,
simple.
grandkids, beloveds,
Yeah.
just say to them, our safe word is pineapple or whatever it is. And then if anyone tries to scam you, you just say, OK, what's our safe word? They won't know it and you'll know they're a scammer. That really helps a lot. Gwen, thank you so much. Let's go to Bill in the Scottish Borders. Hello, Bill. What about you?
Yeah, I had a call this morning at 8:20. Obviously, I knew it was a scam. So what I done, I just laid my phone down. I don't hang up, I just lay the phone down. And I went out and I didn't come back till about 20 to 1.
Is this on your house phone? You just leave the phone just on the side and go out?
I just laid down, I don't hang up.
Right.
No, that line doesn't shut.
And just
until I
checking,
hang
Bill,
up.
what are they asking for, these people?
Well, it comes in to say that we think you've got a fog of somebody's charge. I think one of them was for £120 and another one was for 900 and something pound.
Right.
So I knew right away it was a false.
So instead of shouting and screaming at them or slamming the phone down, he just leaves the phone, the house phone, just there.
I just lay the phone down on the table aside the phone.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. I mean, this is also very common.
Exactly, and that's a good strategy. Yeah. So, some people I know keep them on the phone. They can scream or shout, go away.
Blow a recorder down the line is another one I've heard.
This is it, big honking horn, to hurt their ears.
All right, so lots of us are saying, yes, we knew it was a scammer, we didn't fall for it. But of course, lots of us, as we've both admitted, do fall for it. So let's go to Janet in Worcester, who did give a scammer her details last week. Janet, don't feel bad about it. It happens all the time. What happened to you?
Oh, it was awful. The phone rang and I picked it up and a woman said, "This is your bank calling. Hang on, you're going to be on another line." So I waited and this chap picked up the phone and he said, yes, he said, I'm ringing, he said, because somebody's taken £120 out of your account. I can't remember what he said for.
Right.
Anyway, then he said, I said, who are you? I kept saying it. Who are you? And he said, I'm the police. He said, I'm officer somebody or other.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm so ashamed of myself because I mean, I'm 79, but I do have moments of brain fog. And this was the time.
Do not be ashamed because they're getting cleverer and cleverer, right, Jane? They're getting better and better at it.
They're getting better and better. And even in cyber, this happens to top people,
Yeah,
experts.
all sorts of people fall for it. Don't feel bad about it.
Everyone is vulnerable, so must not have that whole feeling of shame.
Are these people invariably abroad that make these phone calls?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You see, they can come through from the UK. I know my daughter had one recently, and it was someone from Scotland.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, if you're getting anyone who is sounding like they're from another country, then sometimes you can be alerted that sounds like a scam.
Yeah.
But they come through from our country too. So
Right.
don't always
Listen,
presume.
a massive
that-
thank you to you, Jane. You've been fabulous. Jane Frankland there joining us with her advice. I reckon we should definitely come back to this subject, don't you? There's so much more to
Yeah,
say about it,
absolutely.
unfortunately. Don't forget, later on, we're going to